Yay, it says I am live. I am excited to be here with you on this beautiful day. It's really quite smoky outside, actually. I have a picture. I'm trying to fix my necklace. Sorry about that. I have a picture of this fire map, basically, showing all of the fires like near the area. Obviously, it is wildfire season, and um, yeah, I was just talking yesterday in my live stream where I was at the car show about how in other countries they literally it's like common knowledge that they will seed storms to, counteract any drought and stuff. They could easily implement this technology and seed a storm right over any of these wildfires and put them out, but then where would the, chaos be that they use to establish their new world order, right? They cause a problem to get a reaction to bring in their solution, right? Whatever. Um, and we see that happening all around us with the Maui stuff. And even, like I'm saying, it's smoky when you go outside. The weather's really nice, but yeah, the air quality is not good. Thankfully, the fires aren't too close to me. As far as I know, Mount Shasta is still closed. They are basically blaming the weather from Hurricane Hillary. And there were like multiple spots across the road leading up to Old Ski Bowl that were like flooded with water. And there's some pretty intense videos actually of like these huge boulders just being like pushed by water across the road, giant logs being swept away as well. So I'm not really sure what the update on that is yet, but I am planning as though my full moon celebration on Wednesday is going to go forward. And that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today. And then I actually have to get cooking and I got to run all the way out to Wairika. So I got a lot to do in the next few days, which is kind of typical for, hey, Kyle, typical for the full moon time. It's very chaotic. I do all of the cooking and prep myself, like and I have a tiny kitchen, so I don't even have like a full standard size oven and for the classic stove that most people have in their house. I don't have that. I actually have two single burners right now. In previous times I only had one, and an air fryer, so I'm really working with what I have until I can really upgrade my tiny house. A lot of people know that I'm like pretty off. Well, I'm not really off the grid, but I'm really living like not in a proper house. I'm in a tiny house right now. And since I've been here in the past, 6 years, I think, I have now installed a septic tank, the septic line. I have a bathroom in the well house that is fully functional as well. So it's definitely taking some time. But thankfully, I am making progress in that. And I'm planning to do some home renovations soon, but these full moon events and all this other stuff costs a lot of money. And, I'm definitely making sacrifices to put these events on, to throw these vegan celebrations, to feed people for free, to put on a demonstration of the Golden Age. The Golden Age is where people have the things that they need, the free vegan food. It's available, especially at the Queen's Kitchen, which I plan to replace McDonald's with. I wanted to make sure that I stated those words properly. McDonald's is not coming into the Golden Age with us. They have been feeding us, literally, children feed us, right? Feed us. You know how disgusting? I've always hated that word. And I've always been anti-abortion, and my maternal instincts are like very overpowering. So the whole like, let's call this a fetus, a clump of cells, a parasite, any of these negative things in association with the growing baby inside of you, I've always been really like very against. But it's interesting how close the word fetus is to feed us, and there are no coincidences in this reality. our English language is a joke. There are all sorts of different jokes on humanity, not just in our language, but in our history, in the entertainment, the programming, in our school system. Everything is almost constantly a joke on humans. And these entities, I was kind of talking about this yesterday, they are bored, they are jealous, and this is one of the ways that they entertain themselves. Some of these souls are so pathetic that their souls, their sole existence, SOLE, sole existence, is to pester humans, to torture us, to play with us. That's the only reason that they are staying in existence, which, a lot of people think that souls are like this eternal thing that never end. But that's really entirely up to that soul. If a soul doesn't have like a light at the end of the tunnel, if they don't have that purpose for existing, if they don't feel a reason for it, then they can go out of existence. They, bored to death is a thing. There have been souls, especially before this world was created, that were bored and stopped existing. So that's one of the reasons that I fight for this world to continue to exist, not just because this world is made out of Sophia, her soul is completely intertwined and engulfed in this reality existing. Like, I love Sophia, and I don't know if her soul is going to want to continue existing if this physical world is no longer. So there are multiple reasons that I fight for this physical reality, it giving us something to do, and the ability to experience life and grow and fall in love and have babies of our own, and all of that fun stuff is, in my opinion, something worth fighting for. So I hope that you're like me and you came to this world to make it a better place, to ultimately give Sophia and ourselves hope for a better future, because we manifest it. So, we've been manifesting this hell all around us for hundreds, thousands of years, and it's time to stop. So Kyle says, hopefully the fires are not near Mount Shasta. They're not too close, but they're definitely, I don't know the exact mileage. That kind of sounds like we're driving a car, but I don't know how many miles the closest fire is to us. Kyle also said dew season. Yes, there's some interesting videos about the dew weaponry, especially the most common post that I'm seeing now is people saying like, how big of a conspiracy theorist are you? And then it has someone painting their roof blue. There are some videos going around about, well, I love blue, so this is just great news for me. Let's just paint the whole world blue, right? Just being silly, but they're talking about how different frequencies, different colors can, I guess, are more resistant to these direct energy weapons, and that these things that are blue in different places aren't burning. So it's definitely an interesting topic that is happening right now. Emergy says, "Are you started camping?" I'm not camping right now, but I am getting ready for my full moon celebration on Wednesday. And usually we do stay up on the mountain all night, but no one, well, I can't say no one, but a lot of people don't sleep. We'll just stay up and chat all night and, hang out around the fire and have a good time. And yeah, I have mixed feelings about it because it's a lot of work, and there is a battle for control, which we'll get into in a minute. But on the other hand, I really love to be able to sit around and chat with people, to be able to talk in real life about deep topics and conspiracies and the truth of our reality and the spiritual things. And I really do love that and appreciate it. So Scuba Maru, how's it going? Kyle says Bob Barker died yesterday at 99. I wonder how many 99s we'll see now. Interesting. I have to actually look up who Bob Barker is because I think I know who it is, but yeah, okay. So this is the Price is Right. Yeah. For some reason, my mind is going to Travis Barker. Obviously, I know that they're completely different people, but obviously the name is different. Anyways, I personally don't believe anything in the news when they say this celebrity died or this other thing happened. Like, I would put money on the table that the person is still alive, and they're basically these giant uh trauma experiences. I mean, they make us, they don't make us, they give us these personalities, these idols, and humans latch onto them. And then all of a sudden, these tragedies happen, and these humans are at home, like crying and devastated over, first of all, a demon who doesn't even like you. Uh, and they didn't even die. So it's like they're just mocking humans as they traumatize us. It's really irritating, but they get off on this, and I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse though. I personally want to understand why they are this way and try to judge people and other souls, not just people as in humans, judge souls righteously. So I want to understand why they are doing it and, put myself in their shoes to understand and see their perspective, I guess. So I definitely don't have a limited human perspective. And I do see, especially going vegan, you deal with some really, really dark and demonically possessed humans who are completely lacking compassion and just making our species look like monsters. So I do, to some extent, understand why these demons would have fun torturing humans. The humans that are doing evil, that's what they're, you know, when you do something bad, there is a certain amount of karmic payback that is due to you. So these demons that want to torture humans, well, I mean, look at our society. Pretty much everything is set up so no matter what you do, like try to go vegan and you will see how many things that animal products have made it into. They basically try to make every single thing that we can get into, making us into a clown, making us look bad as a species, corrupting our soul. There's always an agenda, and so they get us to do these things like animal farming in particular, and then they have all of this room to come then and mess with you, to give you diseases, to cause problems in your life, and all of this stuff. And they can just point to your dietary choices alone, and that's probably not the only thing that you're doing wrong in life. Like we're surrounded by like different temptations and different influences that want to try to pull us in these negative directions to do the wrong thing, so ultimately that they can corrupt us and use it against us so that they can have laughs. So hey David D, how's it going? Says they are blocking. Hello from Ukraine. How are you doing today? Kyle says energy manifestation ritual. Yes, exactly. So what? How's it going? Says hi. I like what you said. I'd be curious to know too. I like to understand even evil people. Oh no, David says they're blocking him. He can't see and can't hear. Ah, I wonder if it is your internet that's bad or is it mine? It sounds like other people. It seems like other people are not having issues. So it must just be me and you. So what says you're so open-minded to say that, I guess. Does that mean you'll condone interspecies relationships in the future with these entities? I do not. I think that humans should be with humans, and we're designed to be in these specific species. Even, hey Kevin, how's it going? The stories about these jinn. I wanted to say fallen angels, but that's kind of a misnomer for jinn. They're not really. like angels. Angels are an extension of our creator. They don't have free will. It's kind of how he interacts inside of this world. And then the next creation was the Jinn, and they are these beings of smokeless fire that are like almost gods, pretty much, incredibly powerful. They can pretty much live forever. They're geniuses. They are extremely magically gifted. They can shapeshift. Like the list goes on and on. And then, in the grand scheme of things, this species that is like gods in this realm have basically been pushed off into the back, put onto the shelf like the little toys that nobody plays with anymore. And obviously, put yourself in their shoes. Wouldn't you be upset? Like if you saw an inferior species take over and now you're pushed to the side, and this species that trashes the earth, trashes all the other, enslaves all the other species, they're confused about their sex. They think that they're evolved slime on a giant spinning ball. They're all of these things that are ultra clown. Like they wear the biggest clown shoes of all. And you, as this species that is superior, you're pushed off. How would you feel? So just put yourself in their position, and you can kind of start to try to, understand and judge them differently than most humans do. They're like, you guys are demons. I'm like, before you want to try to call any other species demons, let's look at ourselves in the mirror, shall we? Let's take the plank out of our own eyes so that we can judge others righteously. Look at what humans are doing. That's pretty much like, if you want to talk about demons, we need to talk about humans first, because our own species is doing the evil that is karmically consenting to evil being done to us. So, hello. Kyle says, David, to just close out YouTube, completely clear cookies, and then come back. Ooh, okay. I will remember that next time if I'm having trouble too. So it says, if aliens are revealed in the future, I wonder if the agenda promotes us mingling with them. I've actually put out 2 different things on Facebook regarding aliens. One is more of them being demons, which, I mean, I don't really know what storyline they're going to present to us in the future. They could potentially say like, oh, these bad aliens are shooting the dew and lighting everything on fire. And then they, these are the gray aliens that look like monsters. And then these really beautiful looking Pleiadian, blonde hair, blue eye saviors come in to rescue us from the other aliens, but they're both actually like, that could be one of the timelines that they present to us. Either way, I don't trust any of these other entities. A lot of people around here are like obsessed with these ascended masters and Telos, or is that how you say it? Telos. I don't even listen to their words, because if these entities are so great, why haven't they been helping humanity? Why are they hiding? Like, sorry, but they're trying to control the golden age. They're trying to control, both sides, where they have their new world order and they try to get control of the other side as well. And I'm not willing to let that happen. This is a battle for control, and my soul came here to fight for control. I've already been saying that for a long time. People that are trying to manifest anarchy, you're wasting your time, because you're gonna have to this is like a battle of will, right? So when it comes to the painting that is earth, right, we can only have one painting on there. If we're all scribbling on it, it's just going to turn into a mess. That's what anarchy is. That's just everyone scribbling on the painting, and that's just not how you create a golden age. Further, anarchy can't result in a golden age, because in an anarchist state, there's not anyone to enforce any laws. And if you're vegan, you already know that you can't, like, humans, unfortunately, on the most part, really are not ready to do this. They would rather say bacon and type these stupid things on the computer and continue consuming flesh than go vegan so that we can have a golden age. We need to have the ability to protect the innocents, or else it's not a golden age. So animals and children, yes, I link them together because I mean, most people do. Take your cat, your dog. Like people are like, "Oh, my little baby," as they pet their dog, and then they go up to a cow, and I'm saying, "This is my baby, this cow," and they're like, "That's not a baby. Babies are only humans." It's like you don't even make any logical sense. Babies are babies. When they are these tiny innocent creatures, we need to be the voice for them. And during the golden age, there will be laws to protect animals and children. So that doesn't work in an anarchist state. So what says not on my watch exactly. Ooh, Kevin, I hope to see you at the full moon too. That'd be awesome. So what says that's why I use quotes, because they're probably not what they say. Exactly. Aliens are these interdimensional entities. Everyone that's a flat earther at least knows that, because, well, space, as we've been taught, doesn't even exist. So Kyle says, imagine being someone who believes in aliens, dinosaurs on... People believe that there's dinosaurs on the moon? I actually don't know what they say about, like, I was never into dinosaurs. They really say that there's dinosaurs on the moon? Are there supposedly dinosaurs on other planets as well? I don't know. Satellites near the sun, spinning outer space balls, voting works, and afraid to breathe air. Yes. Well, it's kind of also ironic about the afraid to breathe air too, because they're like smoking us all out too. So they are making the air toxic, and the chemtrails and all of this stuff. So they kind of are, right? There is a little bit of a reason to be paranoid of what we're breathing in, but obviously I'm not promoting masks, and I think that fresh air is what we need. So Flat Earth Dude says, cheers. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Yesterday, I actually premiered my new dress, and I wanted to show it here because I didn't really... So the front says vegan or die. And on the back, it says, one day you're going to figure out that everything they taught you was a lie. So it's kind of actually cool how it ended up being a little bit of a rhyming thing as well. Vegan or die, everything is a lie. So that was pretty cool. I wanted to show it off in this setting. So very excited about that. I'm surprised it didn't start many fights, but yeah. I'm going to start wearing more vegan apparel around town, and, trying to plant seeds without even actually having to say anything. So I'm super excited about that. So it says, why is the resolution so bad though? I've set it at the max 720. It reminds me of the supposed reptilians caught on camera. You passed the test though. It's actually just streaming through my computer's webcam. I tried to plug in this USB camera earlier, but it wasn't working properly. So I need to get a new one so that it will work. But anyways, so let's get to the topic of the video, which is battle for control of Shasta. I've already kind of explained the situation that's happening here. Obviously, the top layer is that the government is controlling it, right? They right now have everybody shut down. No one is allowed up on the mountain. So they're the ones that are clearly the ultimate authority of what is going on there. But as soon as they open the mountain, there's one specific spot on Mount Shasta. You go up Everett Memorial Highway, and there's just this large plain, like flat area with not really any trees. It's pretty rocky. There used to be a ski lodge there. So it's called Old Ski Bowl, and the parking lot dead ends in this area. And the first time that I even went up on Mount Shasta under the full moon, there was a little fire, and just like more of a community thing with not really anybody in charge. And so I eventually have taken control, and now I go up there and I bring like 4 tables full of vegan food and all this stuff with some lights and everything to make it something that it wasn't before. Before it was literally like some dirty kid gathering with really no one in charge. And now I'm kind of the opposite because I have these extravagant, catering equipment and tablecloths and stuff. So it's kind of like the opposite of the dirty kid vibes. For anyone that doesn't really know, there's a whole culture over here. It probably extends more over onto the other side of the country as well. But I came from Ohio and I really had um, no exposure to this culture. The dirty kid, train riding hippies, I don't know if you want to call them nomads or whatever, but uh sorry, I'm reading. So it says your reaction at dinosaurs on the moon was straight out of a comedy. I can relate. Never heard that before, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that is really funny. So I'm gonna just not look at the chat for a second. Um, anyways, so I go up there and I set up this big buffet of food. I have to get up there before anybody else to kind of take over the area. And there are many people talking about this group that is supposedly going to be coming up there as well on Wednesday night, and a large group of dirty kids that is being led by someone that I've mentioned before, who is a controlled part of the powers that be. They control the community, as I call them, and I have kind of my own little group of people that support me and agree with the enforced veganism, and that know me on a personal level, whereas the people in the community are being influenced by these inverts, these assets, and they are being fed lies about me. And it's really irritating because a lot of people will hear these things and then believe them instead of coming and getting to know me. It's like very frustrating, but also understandable that my enemies do this. Ultimately, my goal is to promote the golden age and to change the world. So any of these allegations of me, like anything that they say, they just say that I'm evil and that, like, why would like, there's just so many allegations against me that it's like, where's the evidence? But they don't even need evidence because, like I said, people just hear things and they want to believe it. And for me, not respecting the elders and kissing people's bums and having opinions that don't align with their love and accept everybody degenerate community mindset. So yeah, I'm an outcast, and there is a battle for control, and they are supposed to be up there on Wednesday. So we'll see what happens. I am doing what I do because my soul came here to do this, to make the golden age, and that's one thing that they can't say. Their souls didn't come here. Well, the real humans who have been caught up in it, the assets, those who have, gotten in trouble, and then the government says, oh, well, we'll lessen your sentence if you grow out your hair and get dreadlocks and pretend to be a hippie and work in this community to control them for the government. These real humans have gotten swept up in this, and that's not what their souls came here to do. So that's one of the things that I'm going to essentially use against them and say, your soul didn't come here for this, so why are you doing it? Like, it doesn't matter what they threaten you with. It's not worth your soul. And you have family and potentially have children of your own. Don't you want a better world for them? So why are you fighting the one person that is right here with the boots on the ground, making the better world and fighting for it? It doesn't make any logical sense. Hey, Jim, how's it going? McGwee Pop, hello. Greetings from Chile. I can see a keyboard behind. Yes, I have a keyboard, and my guitar is behind me as well. Jim says, we know the truth about you. I'm glad. I definitely can be aggressive, and even, I'm willing to fight, kill, and die over this. But it ultimately is not coming from a place of evil. It's coming from a place of, that animal deserves our protection. Like, these helpless beings if we don't, who is going to protect them if it's not for us? We have to do something about it, and that's not evil. What's evil is them, what they're doing, and sitting by and watching evil happen. Isn't There's this quote that's like, all that it takes for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. And that is one of the things that veganism is about. Like, we have to do something to change the situation. These people say, "Oh, just be quiet as a vegan." If you were over there, this is where there's a farm. If you were over there getting, forcibly impregnated, if you were having your body stolen from, like violated, if you were on your way to slaughter, would you want us to just sit by idly and quietly, or would you want us to start shouting, to start maybe even getting physical and like putting ourselves, like, you got to go through me to get to this cow? Because if I was a cow, I would want that kind of vegan. I would want that kind of human that's willing to actually get into a fight for me. Would you fight for your dog or your cat if someone came to hurt them? I would hope so, because most people say their dogs and cats are, their babies, they're part of the family. So if you wouldn't fight for them, maybe, well, I guess maybe you wouldn't fight for your family either. So I guess we should see if you're even for fighting for them either, or if you're just one of these pacifists who says, love your enemies as they're hurting your family. Just, love and light, peace, don't do anything violent. Like, I don't get you guys if that's you. Hopefully not. So it says people will believe the most far-fetched things and call the simpler and more likely explanation the most complicated one, and use stuff like Occam's razor, even if it was valid, against it too. The nerve, yes. So what says, what do you mean you don't respect elders? If your age is like me, we can bully and trash talk old people. I don't care how old you are. That's only your physical age too. Our souls are much older than this. My soul is older than dirt, like older than this physical creation. So don't think that you can, like, I'm not going to stand here and let you talk down to me because I'm physically younger than you. That's not going to happen. I respect to a certain extent that you are older than me, but for me, respect is like, are you even vegan? Because I don't care how old you are. If you're not vegan, if you're completely deceived about the truth of our reality, if it's like pat you on the back because that's all you have is age. Like, okay. Okay. Kyle gave me a link here. Let's check this out. Jim says that veganism is a spiritual progression and a revolutionary act. Go vegan. Exactly. People want to talk about, fighting the New World Order, and their actions are literally fueling it. So I'm going to get off of the vegan rant for a minute and see what Kyle sent me. There could be dinosaur bones on the moon, says scientists. Oh my gosh. Let me just read this. This is ridiculous. Ooh, according to these people, the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs was so massive that the Earth's atmosphere was torn and formed a vacuum even before the asteroid hit. So exciting, guys. Are you on the edge of your seats? Blah, blah, blah. Are they going to try to say that dinosaurs were, like, thrown off of the Earth? Oh my gosh. As the asteroid collided with the Earth in the sky above it, where there should have been air, the rock had punched a hole of outer space vacuum in the atmosphere. As the heavens rushed in to close this hole, enormous volumes of Earth were expelled into orbit and beyond, all within a second or two of impact. Isn't this so awesome that we just have all of these facts from scientists that were totally there? People actually believe this crap? Okay. So there's probably little bits of dinosaur bones up on the moon. Oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that that link, Kyle. That's hilarious. Sage says Lunosaurs. Fascinating. That's really funny. Yes, Lunosaurs. All right. I actually think, dinosaurs being I do think that giant reptiles like dragons are real. But obviously dinosaurs, these T-Rex with like these tiniest little arms ever and giant heads, and like you can just picture them running, and they have to like run really fast to keep their head up and not fall over, and trying to reproduce. It's just, if you haven't figured out that T-Rex are a joke yet, I don't know if you can be helped. But they do admit like that a lot of the bones and stuff in museums are literally made in China. All of your transitionary fossils, the things that are used to support evolution, they're all fake. And I think it was like the 1800s when the first dinosaur bone was discovered, and when they even started saying the word dinosaur. So you'll have to look into that if you're interested. And so what did bring up that they say that dinosaurs are the ancestors of the chicken. Yes, what a joke that is, right? And aren't we, the descendants of apes and stuff too? So really silly, but obviously there's a lot of parts of the deception to create this deception of evolution and all of these things to cover up the true history, which is that really things are getting smaller over time. I mean, that kind of fits with the dinosaur thing, but like giants, things are really getting worse over time, whereas the idea of evolution is that they should be getting better. The first humans were the most advanced. They had advanced, well, not the first humans didn't have advanced technology, but ancient humans had advanced technology. The first humans were extremely connected and knowledgeable about the truth of our reality. And over time, we have gone into the dark ages to where we are now, coming out of the dark ages a little bit. Hopefully, we can move a little bit faster out of them. But to me, the dark ages is ignorance, when humans are living in darkness, and that's right now. And I do really appreciate that we can all connect all of those people that are around the world, where we couldn't have done this a few 100 years ago. Well, according to the history that we're told, right? There's a lot of interesting things about advanced technology that was within the past few 100 years, right? So what says they say dinosaurs are the end? Oh wait, I already read that. Evolution, yes, which is fake. Jim says, and gorillas are humans in monkey suits. Well, there are some interesting allegations about that, and I don't doubt that some zoos are doing some weird things. They can even, like, the zoo might not even do that, and they might put on an act just to get a video of it to promote the psyop. But they're basically, I've seen a lot of allegations that birds aren't real, that koala bears aren't real, that monkeys aren't real. Like all of these different animals, they're trying to say that they aren't real just because there are animatronic, is that what they're called, versions of these animals out there. It's like you go to like Disney World or something and you see a fake alligator that's made to chomp its teeth at you. You're like, oh no, alligators aren't real because of this. It's like, that's not evidence that alligators aren't real. Like you can like go to Florida and see them wrestling outside by a lake. They're definitely real. So anyways, so it says I want some KFD. I'm not sure what that means. Do you mean, oh, Kentucky Fried Dinosaurs? That's, I don't know about that. I don't know about how dinosaur would taste, but I'm not interested in eating any beings. And I definitely don't want to sit here and talk about eating like reptilian like beings like dragons. I'm not trying to cause any more friction between species than there already is. And one of the reasons that these other species do hide, not just because they kind of have to be able to put on all of this deception and to have humans essentially be ignorant of the truth of our reality. We can't really have dragons just wandering about, right? But also, if they did start coming out, how many humans are gonna try to grab their guns and their, pitchforks and torches and run after them? Like, there's definitely multiple reasons that these animals, these other species, stay away from humans. And that's not to say that, dragons don't eat humans as well. There's a battle going on here. There's a lot of species wars, and you know, humans are definitely not perfect. So I can't really say that I can't just blindly side with humans like a lot of other humans do. They just want to only see, they got their blinders on, and it's only human suffering, human abuse, human slavery, human. And it's like, okay, you want to talk about humans? Well, let's look at the evil that humans do. But you don't want to see that. You only want to see how humans are being oppressed, but you don't want to see how they're doing the oppression. Anyways, Kyle says asteroid collided so fast and brutally it tossed dinos into outer space. I wonder, were they still alive when did they actually enjoy the flight, or like were they did a dinosaur actually get catapulted onto the moon and like, I mean, actually, I really don't even understand. Like, I don't remember how space things work because honestly, even back in the day, I'm just like, I'm not gonna go to space and I just have to blindly believe what someone else tells me to. And yeah, a lot of school like that was for me. I think some of us had a natural resistance to what we were being taught in multiple arenas. I remember even, in middle or high school saying like history is written by the winners of the war. So it's like we don't even know what happened because whoever won is able to just rewrite history, wipe out the other people's information, and tell us what their side of the story is and color it how they want to. So, yeah, I remember from very early ages kind of just thinly holding on to these beliefs and not really like other people that had like space dreams and they wanted to be astronauts, and they had a really hard time accepting flat earth because they believed in the space deception so much. For me, my belief in it was really paper thin. Like, yeah, I would have told you at the time. I would have gone like I wouldn't have said no, the earth is flat at the time, but it's like if you put a gun to my head and say, "Is the Earth a globe?" I would have been like, "Bro, I don't know. I can't go up there to see for myself. How would I be able to tell you that?" Um, Obviously, now that we have been exposed more to it, we have a lot of great researchers doing things and putting out information. There are tons of ways that we, can figure out for ourselves that we're not living on a giant spinning ball. But especially when you're a child, you just you're not expecting anyone to lie to you. So you'll believe in the tooth fairy, you'll believe in Santa Claus, you'll believe that you're a piece of evolved slime living on a giant spinning ball. A story came to my mind. I was in a store in San Diego, and I was checking out, and the people basically asked if I wanted to donate to some sort of literacy program. I was with a friend, and I kind of just looked, and I'm like, "Ugh, do I really want to pay?" Like, they make it sound so great, right? Oh, you need to learn how to read. It's like, if I give you money, you're going to go to this child and teach them how to read lies. It's actually better if they never learn how to read than for them to read something and be led into darkness and be told that they are living on a giant spinning ball, that they're meaningless evolved slime. It's like you're better off not being educated in that. The people there that were asking for the donation really did not like that response. So that's kind of funny, but yes. Sage says, but are pandas real? I think that they are real. Um, I I feel like I've seen one in a zoo before, but obviously, I mean, I don't promote zoos. I'm against zoos, and I wouldn't go to one nowadays. So I kind of only have the past to recall. David D says, my feed is completely blocked. How is it for other people? That's so weird. Um, So it says, "Oh yeah, I heard zebras aren't real. They just paint horses with stripes, and birds are actually some surveillance robot machine to watch us." Well, they definitely can make robots that are shaped like birds, but I have a bird shrine out here, and I feed birds, and a surveillance robot doesn't need to eat. Like, I mean, there's just for me, it's just too much that I don't believe that birds are fake like that, and I think that they're trying to get us to have animosity towards these. I've seen, shoot these out of the sky and all this stuff, and as a bird lover, that really, makes me upset because the last thing that we need is more birds being shot. So it was like when we fantasize about jumping on the clouds. Reminds me of the story of Kal-El. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the story. David D says, I'll have to watch later on. Oh no. My apologies for not being in the chat. Control Shasta is why we are here. First purify the root, then the rest will follow. Yes. Yep. Many of our souls came here to this earth to do this, and you don't have to physically be in Shasta to be a part of this. You can still put your energy and your intent into manifesting it as well, and I definitely appreciate all of the support, and I would love even more if you could come here. A lot of people are struggling financially and all of that, so I understand not being able to do that right now during the battle, but at least during the golden age, I want to make sure that people who want to come to visit Shasta definitely can get the opportunity to. If you can just make it here, camping on the mountain is free, and there are a lot of I don't know what I was gonna say. uh I lost my train of thought. Anyways, okay. There are a lot of great sites around Mount Shasta. For one, waterfalls and lakes and forest, and just ways to connect with Earth. And obviously, I'm here. You can come and meet me and check out one of the full moon celebrations. So, David D says, "Golden age for all means we can't be monsters that kill any innocent babies. That is the hell we are in by consent." Yes. The golden age does not have a baby eating going on. That is the age that we're in now. And if humans, don't want to change, then obviously the situation is not going to change. It's just going to keep getting worse because right now we're owed a lot of bad karma. The punishment, what humans are experiencing right now, is nothing compared to what these animals are experiencing. Like in the CAFOs, you see like pictures of battery farms with chicken that are like their cages are stacked on top of each other. So it's like if you're at the bottom, you have all of the bathroom business from all the way up there coming on you. You're like your beak gets chopped so that you're not pecking your fellows. Your fingernails, your fingers, the ends get cut off so that you're not fighting them. Like, these are horrible conditions. So humans are really owed a lot of evil to us, just because of our dietary choices alone. So remember that when we're going through the tribulation, it's like, wow, this really sucks. But it's like, we have done so much worse to the animals, and really we're getting off very easily. Even, pictures and stuff of concentration camps for humans compared to the CAFOs that animals are in. At least the concentration camps that I've seen had like proper toilets. I mean, for the most part, the conditions are a lot better than what the animals are experiencing. And I'm not justifying either. I'm saying that they're both wrong. But if we are hurting the animals, then we deserve whatever comes to us. If you can't agree with that, well, then I guess I'm glad that you're not the judge, because you're not a righteous judge. So. Jim says some birds might be robots, but birds are real. Most are real. Birds and squirrels are native to the land, original species, but yes, some are faked. Yeah, I mean, obviously they can make any type of like robot. You can create a robot that's shaped like any animal that you want, right? Well, maybe not you, but those with the ability to do these can do it. And what just popped into my mind is like these celebrities. There's some videos of them like twitching and like tweaking out kind of, and people are like, oh my gosh, it's a robot. It's like a demon can literally act like that just to put on a show. These entities that we're dealing with are not robots. They're not um soulless entities. They are literally demons in flesh suits. I've said before, the invert specifically, when Patrick decides to live as Patricia, that demon named Patricia starts to take over Patrick's body. And so there's still a soul that's driving that vehicle, but it's obviously not a um well, it's not a human soul anymore. It's not a light soul. It is a dark and inverted demon. And sometimes we do get caught up in, obviously, I am very focused on transvestigation. And once you have the eyes to see, you'll see these entities and you're like, oh my gosh, that's clearly the opposite sex. How could we not have seen it? But the more and more that you develop the eyes to see, it's like, that's not even a human. Like, it's not it that's a demon. It's a complete abomination. So it's kind of an interesting change when we're not expecting such a deception. It's just so easy for them to get away with it. And then once you're, the light bulb goes on, it's just it's crazy. So it's very interesting. So what says, I never heard of anyone wanting to shoot birds because they're robots. Yeah, I've seen some posts about it, unfortunately. Do they eat them afterwards to kill two birds with one stone? Huh. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I haven't seen anything of like actually dissecting these supposed robot birds, so I'm not really sure about that. Maybe they could make it pretend to eat to look real and artificially go to the bathroom. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, they do have like dolls that are made to go to the bathroom and stuff. They have such advanced technology that I'm sure that they could do whatever they want with it. But I think that they are actually, living entities. And anything with a pineal gland has a soul. So all of these animals that are in captivity, they're all individual souls that are suffering, that are experiencing that hell. I think that they say that only 4% of animals are wild. That's pretty crazy, if you ask me. Um, the overwhelming majority of species on this earth are completely enslaved, and it doesn't have to be this way. But, as long as humans who are center stage choose this for the setting, we can't do anything about it. That's why at least half has to go vegan. If they would do it right this second, there wouldn't be the karmic justification for the New World Order. So it's really frustrating when people are like, oh, just everybody's got to just do it on their own time. You got to give them grace. It's like, so I need to give an animal abuser grace? Where's the grace that they're showing to the animal that's in line for slaughter? Do you think that animal that's in line for slaughter just says, take your time. Everyone's on their own path. My path just ends with me getting my throat sliced. But hey, as long as you humans are happy, as long as your taste buds are satisfied and you're not in any discomfort from not feeding the demon inside with the flesh and blood. It gets very irritating to deal with non-vegans. Anyways, so it says maybe at night they return back to base, they dismantle and remove all of the bread and popcorn. Oh my gosh, all of the birds, all of their robot birds just have to come back and get unfilled. Get unfilled. Kyle says, I forgot to mention a while ago that there's a sunflower that grew in the same bed as the melons I planted. Aw, I didn't plant it and thought my mom planted it. I found out not too long ago that a squirrel planted it. Oh, that's really cool. I wonder what that will do to the taste of your melons. I've read that planting like cucumbers with sunflower seeds, with sunflowers, I think it's supposed to make it sweeter. Let's see really quick. Do, do, do. Yeah, it's really quite cool too because the sunflower is supposed to act like a natural trellis for the cucumber plant as well. So it's really awesome to look into different, companion plants and seeing how you can literally all of this mono crop culture that we have. It's like depleting the soil and causing all sorts of issues. But you can look into like permaculture guilds and you can literally plant companion plants around each other to help feed the soil and enrich each other. Obviously, that doesn't work as well for the commercialization of farming, where that's why they have these monocrop cultures, but that's really not how our creator intended for us to exist, um, especially in this chasing money and cutting corners to make more money. And uh, sorry, what just popped into my head, just so you guys can be rid of your bread addictions. They literally put this amino acid that comes from hair in they use it in the early processes of making bread, and that just makes me want to puke. The last time that I ate bread, I just kept thinking about eating hair, and I couldn't even eat the rest of it. Like, I'm good on that. If I'm not making it here, nasty. It's called L-cysteine, I believe is how you pronounce it. Let me L-cysteine. I think that's how you spell it. I just want to make sure that you guys can. Um, the main source is human hair, and they collect it from barber shops um, in Asia. So you're eating Asian people's hair clippings in bread. It's supposed to, I think, help with the rising process, I believe, or um, maybe the mixing process, but it also is supposed to help extend the shelf life of the product. So it's put into like tons of commercial bread products and like fast food and everything. So just next time that you go to eat their bread, picture just like eating a mouthful of hair. And if you're like me, you'll be good on bread. Like, ugh. Um, so it's oh wait. So it says I've seen a diagram that means down every compartment of the supposed insides of a bird. Oh, breaks down. Uh, oh yeah, God's creation in general is extremely awesome and intricate. Like the human body having all of these, like, essentially highways of blood that are going to and from your heart. Like that is so cool. Definitely could not have happened by chance, by a random coincidence. There are no coincidences in this reality. So what says, is that naturally okay, or is mixing plants like that similar to hybridizing different species of animals among them, with humans and even with plants? I think I've heard it all. Um, about mixing fish and oh, I thought that said mixing fish and tornado. I'm like, how in the world are they gonna mix fish with tornadoes? Okay, that says tomato. Definitely, yeah. I think obviously those are completely different. You're taking something that's a tomato and putting something non-vegan with it. But like in nature, things grow together like all the time. So I don't really think that that's against like God's hybridization. You know, uh I don't think that he's against permaculture guilds, you know what I'm saying? I have said before that I plan to have I have a vision in my mind of all of my apple trees in my orchard having different plants around them, and basically part of my day would be taking my son out there and just letting him run around and like in his bare feet and play in the garden and eat whatever he wants, and like that's something that's really important to me for the future. So yes. Jim says, I make my own oat flour. Oh, oat flour bread. Interesting. With pure yeast only and no additives. And it's pure vegan bread only. Interesting. Oat flour. A lot of times, well, oat milk specifically has like a very strong taste. So I wonder, does it have a really oaty taste, or it might be a silly question, but the bread is poisoned and full of hair and sugars and processed poisons. Exactly. Ugh, eating hair. Um, so it says no, but I meant breaks down the supposed. Oh, the robot bird. Okay. I have not seen that. Jim's laughing at fish and tornadoes. Yes, that would be an interesting mix. Scientists have discovered what happens when you mix fish and tornadoes. Fishnadoes! Woohoo! And they have like, okay, I really don't have anything. I got nothing. Jim says only eat homemade vegan food fixed by yourself. That definitely is, the ultimate goal, to have your own recipes that you can know every single thing that went into them. Obviously, even better if you can grow the food yourself, and pick it out of your garden and then bring it inside and make it, so that you know every step of the process. But that is unfortunately not really, most people don't have time to do that. A lot of weather modification is making that even harder. And I mean, if you're like me, I do want an awesome garden, but it's not really my focus right now. So it is nice to have other growers. And in the golden age, I want to make sure that, people don't have to grow if they don't want to. But if you want to, you definitely can. So it says, I don't know if you caught it, but didn't mean mixing fish with tomato in a dish, but rather put one in the other's DNA and get some weird results. Yeah, I thought that's kind of what you meant. I guess I was picturing how they, some of their pesticides and other chemicals, sometimes contain shellfish or others. There's like an article saying that some bananas and stuff aren't vegan because they're sprayed with this shellfish, like, it must be a pesticide or something. I don't remember, but yeah. Fish and tornadoes, I can picture a cartoon with fish creating a tornado. They get dizzy and you get fish falling from the sky. Yes. Cow, another cow. Actually, I think that was the same one. uh, yeah, Kyle, I'm not really, unfortunately the chat is far behind, but yes. Anyways, Kyle also says my mom made homemade bread last night. Yeah, I didn't start making bread myself until I went vegan, and I've had people like say they really love my bread, so I can't wait to actually get a proper oven to cook bread, because like I said, I'm cooking out of an air fryer, so it's not exactly the same. But yeah. Anyways, I do have a lot of stuff that I have to get ready for the full moon celebration. I have to run to Wairika and go get some more groceries and stuff. So I probably am going to cut off the chat here in just a minute. So what says, and people then call that the manna. Oh, call the fish falling from the sky manna. Okay. Ugh. The way that I have, or what I've read about manna is, basically it was a magical creation, and it tasted like different things to different people. Like if you were craving something, this is just what I've read. Obviously, I've never had manna, but I've read an allegation that it had a different taste. Like it was designed to give people the taste of what they were craving the most, which is also interesting in the fact that there's a story in Numbers 11, which is one of my like favorite Bible stories actually. And people point to this to try to say that God isn't against eating flesh, which doesn't make sense, because as the story goes, God was feeding these people manna after they were led out of Egypt. They're wandering in the desert. They're, hungry. They, when you're wandering in the desert, you're obviously the slim pickings on the food, right? But this manna was coming, supernaturally for them every day. It would be there so that they could gather. But these people were not satisfied with it, and they wanted to eat flesh. So they cried out to God for quail. And first, he sent so much quail, like I don't remember the exact. I should just actually tell you how Numbers 11. I'll tell you what measurements they actually say. So it was like, I don't want to misquote here. Let's just see. Sorry about that. Um, Whence should I have flesh to give unto all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, Give us flesh that we may eat. Okay, and then where is okay. And there went forth a wind from the Lord and brought quails from the sea and let them fall by the camp as it were a day's journey on this side and as it were a day's journey on the other side. It took you a whole day to get to the end of this pile of quail going this way and that way. And round about the camp as it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth. 2 cubits high all the way around the camp for a whole day's journey. That to me is so much overkill. Like, you can tell that he was mad just by the fact of how much there was. And the people stood up all that day and all that night and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. And the place was actually called Kibroth Havatava. I have no idea. I just definitely slaughtered that because they buried the people that lusted. You want to sit there and tell me that that is God proud and promoting flesh eating? Well, you're definitely blind. Okay. Anyways, Jim says, my bread has no salt in it. I use granulated garlic and granulated onion for flavor. That sounds interesting. Kyle says, my cow comment was in the reference to the movie Twister. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. I was like really young when I first saw that movie. It was really interesting. So, anyways, Jim says, wow, Anna, it sounds like you are going to have a wonderful day gathering good vegan foods and living a clean, exciting vegan life like me. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that you are doing that. And I'm definitely going to try to have a wonderful day, but I do have a lot to do. So I'm going to get off of here, and I will catch up with you next Sunday, same time, same place. Thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate, being able to connect with you like this and getting to chat in the live chat. So hopefully you'll join next week. May God and the goddess bless you.